Hi, I'm Drew Wallace. I'm president of SAISSA, the South Amelia Island Shore Stabilization Association. And I think by now everybody knows that there's something going on out at the beach. Maybe in excess of 50% of the beach so far has had work done on it. And what I'd like to do is I gave a presentation, probably about 3 or 4 days ago to an organization, and I thought you might find of interest. So that's what we're going to do. It's only about 8 to 10 minutes long, and I think you'll find it of interest. Here we go. This is the opening slide of the presentation. Let's go to the next slide. Before we go any further, if you can see this slide, I think you probably can, you'll see a single pipe down the middle of the beach, and then you'll see a Y at the end of that pipe. And what happens is that the sand is taken from our borrow site, which is in the Nassau Sound, the south end of the island, right off the state park. And it's piped all the way up on the beach. And then the left-hand side of the Y pumps sand into a section of the beach that's been prepared for it, kind of like a culvert. And then the sand water, because there's water with the sand, comes out and into this depository. And then the water goes away, flows out to the ocean, and the sand remains. And that's how we build up the sand on the beach. So then once we're done with the left Y, we go to the right Y so that we can cover the entire size of the beach. You'll see at the end of this presentation, or towards the end of the presentation, you'll see that sand coming out of this pipe. We are in the middle, and I say middle because we're in excess of 50% of our third maintenance. We originally restored the beach back in 1994, and the slides following this, you'll see why we did that, for those of you who weren't around. And then we did our first renourishment, a second renourishment back in 11. And so 10 years later, we have another planned renourishment. And that's what this planned maintenance effort is. And really, while we did it in 11 and we're doing it in 21, during that period of time, if you remember Irma and Matthew, we had 2 hurricanes, and each hurricane took about 1 year's worth of sand off the beach. So we're really kind of doing this in 12-year time frame, which is pretty good. Our schedule, we started in July. Towards the end of July, we're going to the November, December. I think by now it's probably middle to end toward of December. Everything hinges upon the weather, and not necessarily the rain that you see, but the high winds that you see. The barge cannot be out in high winds. And so when the wind picks up, the barge has to go to port. So that's what causes our delay over the period of time, but we're still good. We're outside of hurricane season now, so we're doing fine. This, again, for those who haven't seen this before, and I think a lot of you have, this is the reason that we did the renourishment in the restoration in 1994. And here's some slides that show you why we did it. And this is a side view of the beach, so to say. And so you have the pre-restoration line, but then you have the lined section of the beach, and then you have the clear section, the yellow section of the beach. The line section of the beach is called the design beach. The design beach is the engineered part of the beach. And then on top of the engineered beach, we put advanced fill. And the advanced fill is what erodes. We know it's going to erode because we know our island is an erosional island. And so over time, the sand will leave our beach. It will erode. And so the advanced fill is put there to protect the upland properties. And then each year, this is a great slide, each year it shows you what that erosion impact is. And if we follow that out for a few years, we'll see how it goes from 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then lo and behold, we're at that 10-year time to renourish. All our advanced fill part of the beach is gone, and we're at the dunes, and we need to put sand on that design beach so that we can continue to deal with future erosion, which will happen. This is just some pictures of previous renourishments Again, the one that I referred to in the beginning, that I wanted is the upper right-hand quadrant here in this photo. That's the sand and water coming from the borrow site many miles south and being pumped into this little culvert that is going to filter out the water, and the sand is going to remain. And that's how we renourish the beach. This gives you an idea of our progress. We're over 50%, and we're continuing on. In total, we plan to put 1.8 million cubic yards. We're at about that 54% mark right now, going strong, and we're just south of the Omni. So that gives you an idea where we are. And everybody has asked the question, because everybody is very sensitive to our sea turtles, and we all should be. And so they've asked, well, what impact does the renourishments have on the turtle nests, and what impact does it have on not only the frequency of turtle nests, but whether or not there's damage to them. And this gives you an idea of the dots are the volume of the sea turtle nests over the period of time. And you'll see back in '94 is when we started the renourishment effort. We restored the beach and then did the renourishments. And then you'll see the volume of sea turtle nests have actually increased over the period of time. And more importantly, is that we hire people from the Amelia Sea Turtle Watch, and they do a fantastic job. And they move in front of where we are about to renourish the beach and look for any endangered sea nests. And if they find them, they move them to a place that is not so endangered, whether that be the state park or American Beach or other places, but they move them away from where we're going to do our work. And this year, so far, and I think we're kind of done with the sea turtle nests, there's a couple that I think they're keeping their eye on, but basically they have removed 47 nests to safe zones. Okay, communications. This is to tell you that if you want to know more about this, other than listening to this video over and over, which you could do, but it gives you on the left, that is a snapshot. If you hit that project update down at the bottom right, the pop-up on the left will come up and it'll tell you basically what is happening currently on the beach. And it's updated maybe every 3 or 4 days, something like that. So you can either go to our website, or you can go directly to the Coastal Engineers website, and that's what that one is. And through the AIPCA weekly news blast, we send an update that brings everybody current as to where we are, what we're doing, how much sand we've put on, and where we're going in the future. So you can look for those every Wednesday. And I will be coming out with a president's letter, hopefully tomorrow. And so that will be also on the AIPCA news release. The cost. We got a bid. We went out for bid to, I think, 4 engineered firms, dredging firms. And this was the low bid. Well, the good news, there are a couple of good news in this. One, it was the low bid. Number 2, it was about $2 million under the next highest bid. And probably as equally as important is the people that bid on this contract were the same people that did the 2011 renourishment. They know us and we know them, and we were very satisfied with their services 10 years ago when they did it. So we had 14.6, we add in some engineer services, we add a contingency in case things all go to heck. We borrow 16.6 million, it's repayable over 9 years. It's an interest rate of about 1.98. But the other very important thing to take away from this slide is that we will receive probably around 50, could be more than 50% of the actual cost back from state and federal grants. And 2.9 million of that reimbursement is in process right now, awaiting for their approval to get the money back, because you cannot ask for the money from the grant people without first spending the money. And that's what's happening here. So we have a contract with the bank of 16, but we're going to get maybe 8+ million back from the grants. So that's basically it. I told you it was a summary. Please go to the AIPCA newsletter, or if you can't do that, go on our website and get an update as to what's going on. And there's a phone number in that SAISSA.com website that will allow you to call or send an email to our project manager, Bill Moore, and Bill can answer any of the questions that you would have once you see the current updates of what's going on and you have questions about it, you can ask Bill. So that's it for me. So thank you very much for giving me your time and attention. I do appreciate it, and hopefully you'll go to the beach. It's a nice sight to see. It's one you won't see for another 10 years or 12. Who knows? Thank you. Bye.